Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the official trailer that came out for the Fantastic Four First Steps. If you haven't seen the trailer already, I'll include a link to it in the description. But obviously, I like that. Obviously, it takes a lot of what we saw in the teaser and obviously expands upon it. Obviously, we're going to spend a little time basking in the Fantastic Four being the celebrity family that they are. It's like, right, the people, you know, being filmed saying like, oh, give your appreciation to like the Fantastic Four. I'm sure they probably have their own day of like, oh yeah, it's Fantastic Four Day, when maybe the anniversary of when they announced themselves to the world, or when they came back with their powers. That's going to be interesting if that's the way they go that, because it's going to be interesting where it's like the day your life changed for the better and for the worse will always be this public reminder. It's always going to be slapping you in the face because you are such celebrities. I mean, even the thing, they're like, oh, pick up the car, pick up the car. He's like, all right, you know, has to show off a little bit, for the kids and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Obviously, there's also, people had the major theory that Sue was pregnant, and turns out she is, and obviously they're leaning into that, which is obviously kind of good and bad in a lot of ways, because it's like, yes, you're pregnant, that's awesome, but also it's like kind of the worst time with everything ends up going on with Galactus. I'm also curious how they dive into that, and how Sue and Reed are going to approach that, considering like, oh, like it's awesome that we're going to have a baby, but the thing is, our circumstances being what they are, what does that mean for our baby? Obviously, people who are comic book people already know, like, oh, like their baby's circumstances and who their child is. But obviously, once again, I'm not that well versed in the comics, so I don't know. But I even love that bit from Johnny where it's like, oh, you'll be a fantastic mom, Sue. Reed, you're going to be great. Nah, I'm just kidding. Like, we both know you're going to be, like, way out of your depths. But me and Ben, we're going to be awesome uncles. Which I'm wondering, like, obviously that's meant to be played for jokes. But I wonder on some level, sure, there's an element of, like, yeah, you're probably just joking. But I also wonder, did that snide remark actually have something backing up? Where I'm like, I actually don't think you'd be a great dad because of just who you are and your mindset. And, like, you always focus on work. You know, I mean, obviously, he's going to big up his sister and he loves his sister. Like I said, I could be reading way too much into it, but it's like, yeah, it's a little bit of a joke, but I'm also like, that joke didn't come out of nowhere, but who knows? Like I said, I could be easily reading way too much into that. But there's also, obviously, we get our first full look at Shalabaw as the Silver Surfer, and her just declaration to the world of like, yeah, your planet has been marked for death. And then, because it's interesting, like during the teaser trailer, we kind of get, during this trailer, we get to see the extended version of that, well, some of that scene where Johnny's flying off into space and then he like ends up falling back to Earth. And people have theorized, like, oh, is he chasing after the Silver Surfer? And he is. And obviously, it's a short scene where we see him grab the board and then she knocks him back to Earth. But I'm curious, like, did they have a conversation in that moment that we're just not privy to in the trailer? I think that'd be interesting. I mean, because it's a pretty hard cut to, but once again, a trailer, you never know, like, whether the scene is just that or whether there is more to it, because I'd love to know like what those conversations were. I actually don't also, once again, I don't remember the movies that well because it's been so long since I've seen them, but I am curious, like, what is Johnny's circumstances when he's in space? Like, can he breathe? I would assume not, but because he's pretty far out of the atmosphere at that point in time, so I don't know, maybe that's also what led to it, where it's just like, because I don't know, like, can she communicate? Well, I mean, I'm sure she could talk, but I wonder, could she read Johnny's mind and they communicate that way? I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like an Alan the Alien type of situation from Invincible. I'm using that as my frame of reference because that's my frame of reference. The Fantastic Four have to deal with this coming threat, and Reed seems to believe he's the reason why Galactus is on his way. Now, what Reed did, he kind of says, like, I stretched, like, the bounds, and he's like, this is on me. So I'm assuming it's a thing of he sent a signal in space. Now, whether that was just scientific discovery, just being like, the whole, dilemma of a scientist, we asked, can we never asked the question of should we. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but it's like, yeah, this is a thing we can do, but should I do it? I'm also curious, could it have something to do with Reed trying to find a way to fix his family, especially if Sue is pregnant? Maybe it's a thing of, I want to fix us before our child comes into this world. I mean, there's so many angles to that, because like, right, you're a superhero family, you're celebrities, having a baby at the same time, any threat that comes for you is going to come for your baby, so you probably want to do that, but also you're the world's only protector. So there's layers upon layers of complicated stuff, because Reed feeling guilty of, well, not only did I do what I did to my family, I also have to deal with a threat that I caused, and my baby's coming on the way, me and Sue's baby is on the way, and it's like, the world needs us. And now it's like, as I kind of talked about, like, oh, Reed's powers being symbolic for him stretching himself too thin, and it's like, yeah, he's going to stretch himself, because it's the thing of, Like, because especially you being this world's only protectors, the world is looking to you of like, I mean, does the world know you're the reason Galactus is on his way? And if they do, how do they respond to that? Because you are the only heroes. You're the only people they can look up to. It's like, we need the Fantastic Four. You can save us, right? And Reed's just like, I don't know. You know, because he's probably always been confident enough to feel like he can find a solution. And he feels like I don't know what to do in this situation. Like, but later on says like, we will protect you. But it's like, you know, you're trying to ease the people, but like, do you truly believe that? That's going to be an interesting conundrum, because like they've always probably dealt with terrestrial issues of like, hey, this is like, oh, we had to deal with the villain of the week, and they've always come out on top. And this is a challenge where it's like, I don't know if we can win. I don't know if we can protect this Earth on our own, but there's no one else to do it. We have to do it, because even Susan says like, it is up to us, like we're all the Earth has. And since I brought it up earlier, stretching himself thin, we do get to see it. So like they saved it for the official trailer. They like cut around a lot of stuff because we don't, you know, who knows what that fight against Galactus is going to look like. We see him at the stinger at the end of the trailer of him just like walking through the city. We just see his feet, and obviously once again that shot from the teaser trailer of just like him from behind and his shadow over extending. Obviously we also get some more with the Silver Surfer, like her going through something, and I don't know what that was. Obviously it's gonna be interesting to like, I'm wondering what the movie because I wonder where the movie opened with her story, like understanding who she is and how she became Galactus's herald, and then kind of, you know, we come to Earth, get like quick shots of like how the Fantastic Four became the Fantastic Four. I mean, it might be a thing of like what we keep seeing on the television. That might be the only reference we have to the past. We may never like get. It might not be like a montage or anything. It might just be like, yo, this is some footage. You know, when we're celebrating the Fantastic Four, when they left as astronauts and came back as heroes, like that might be all there is to that. Also, it's so interesting. I'm so used to hearing Julia Garner as Ruth from Ozark, so just like I'm assuming that's just like her natural accent, because I don't know if I've ever really heard her just like talk outside of Ruth. So it's funny to hear that, like all that kind of like adjustment in my brain of like, oh, it's kind of like this weird disconnect I have a little bit. I see a lot of people have their theories, and I've kind of like thrown it out there about what the end of this movie is. But like I said, I don't want to get too caught up in that, because it's like, let's focus on the movie as it is now, as they face this great threat and come together as a family, and you know how they overcome that, and you know what this all means for them. I'm so curious to see how that like paces out throughout the movie. Like, how long do they have before Galactus arrives? Is it a couple days, which puts even more pressure on them if they have like such a small window to kind of contend with this? Like I said, with everything going on with the entire world looking to you, that's a lot of pressure. But obviously these are just some of my thoughts running through my head. I'd love to get to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you think of the trailer? Did this change your mind? Maybe you weren't as excited before, but now you're excited now. What do you expect from the movie? What do you want from the movie? Let me know all your thoughts. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and good